Let's bring Joav Toker into the conversation. He's a professor at the American Graduate School in Paris. Thanks so much for joining us. When you last spoke to us, it was a day after the attack in Nice. Here we are about 12 days later talking about another attack. Why is France such a high priority target, do you think?
Because France is an active actor in the war against ISIL in Syria and Iraq and in Northern Africa and in Saharan Africa, and because, perhaps that's even more so than the external reason, because France has a very large Muslim or Muslim-oriented population which could be more sensible to the radicalization efforts, mainly online, but not only online. And therefore, as we saw this afternoon here in France, these were French residents, French-born citizens who committed the horrible assault on the church.
Hollande said, and you must have heard it in Elena's piece, we're facing a group that has declared war on us. We have to fight this war with every means. But is France doing that? Can there be more that can be done?
Yeah, that's a very accurate question, which indeed is formulated this way, and not only by opposition members of the opposition parties who oppose President Hollande's policies. Many well-intentioned citizens in regard to this Hollande administration are honestly asking themselves the questions: is there something to be done which hasn't been done in a very flagrant way? And the answer, to admit, is not clear at all. Of course, there are other initiatives which could be taken, although both President Hollande and his Prime Minister Valls indicated over the last 3 or 4 hours that they do not intend to launch a new legislative initiative, and they do believe that the set of laws and special arrangements which are already there and have gone through Parliament and through the intelligence and the counter-terrorism organizations should be sufficient. But they warn at the same time this is not the last attack, and that French citizens and French residents should be ready for further down the road attacks of this kind. So this is an unprecedented situation in which the leaders are warning the population that horrible things are down the road to come, and actually, without saying it, admitting the fact that for some extent political power can do nothing or very little against it.
Joav, let me read a headline. I'll just read it to you, and I want to get your thoughts on it. French church attack. Priest killer was being monitored. That's the case. This suspect had been monitored. They knew about him. How disturbing is that?
Of course it is, and I would assume that starting tomorrow morning here in France, that would be, in a way, the focal point of criticism against the government. Not only was he monitored, he tried, at least one of the two, tried twice to get to Syria and got as far as Germany and was brought back, then Switzerland and Turkey and was brought back, and then indeed was in prison, in sort of probation prison, until 4 months ago when he was released under the conditions of being under electronic tag type of surveillance. And then what happened this morning in France. Of course, that would be one of the points about which the government and the police and military forces would have to face serious critics.
Joav Toker joining us. Thanks so much for your analysis from Paris.